Go. We fly high over Coolum, Jack Hansen. It's very testing conditions out there. Not big testing, but just tricky.
Well, you're just going to have to get a good read on it, Josh, making sure you watch the races beforehand. Pick your line, as you said earlier, and make sure you stick to it.
Round 2 is the pursuit. Catch me if you can. Race 1 is a standard Ironman board, ski, swim. Then race 2, the athletes will leave in order of finishing in race 1 with 2-second gaps. So if you win race 1, you go off the gun. Everybody else is 2 seconds behind. Last place will be 38 seconds down. So a good result in round 1 is oh so important. Board, ski, swim is the order for race 1, Jack, and if you get a win, you get a head start.
Well, Josh, when the leader goes off scratch, the winner of the first race, there will be a 38-second gap back to last and plenty of room to try and pull back.
Let's see who will be chasing the leader there. Couple of first-timers as well. Jade Hardstaff, Ella Heiniger, their first ever Nutrigrain Ironwoman Series race. Naomi Scott, Hannah Scully, Gemma Smith and Lizzie Wellborn have all been there and done it before. Board, ski, swim is the order. Pursuit format, we are off and away for round 2 of the Nutrigrain Ironwoman Series, and already Brielle Cooper down the beach, and Nicola Owens, she's lost the board already, so a big mistake from one of the young guns.
Well, on board with Lizzie Wellborn, and she's going to be the one to watch going to the front of this board leg. A terrible start there in the middle of the field from Lizzie has set her back, but look for her to make a big move through as Georgia Miller is off to a flyer.
I thought Nicola Owen was probably the only person who could paddle with Lizzie Wellborn in this opening board leg. She's a great board paddler from the Redhead Club. Drops the board, goes all the way out the back. One more to watch for is on the far left-hand side. Brielle Cooper, our defending series champion, ran all the way down, and that's the southern end of the field there to try and sneak out. She's been hit by 2. She's about to get hit by a 3rd there, and that has absolutely smashed her. She is in last place, so that big long run down the beach is not paying off for Brielle Cooper, who is getting hammered.
Well, it didn't work for Brielle Cooper there, but it has worked staying up on the northern side for Georgia Miller. She's our current leader, Josh, and tucked in behind her is Lizzie Wellborn. So she's made a quick move back through the field after a slow start.
Carly Nerthen in 3rd as well. Naomi Scott in 4th. Harriet Brown out on the right-hand side, the yellow board in 5th place. Jordan Mercer on the opposite side of our lead pack. Emma Dick, we saw her before, got absolutely hammered from the Mermaid Beach Club, so she's in last place. Baby Brielle Cooper in 2nd last place, and all that is a recipe for disaster heading into race 2. So Miller in 1, and Lizzie Wellborn tried to go up the outside there and go around her, but she's thought better of it, tucked in on the backside there and decided to use the wash heading out to that first can.
Well, Josh, we see them all strung out in one big long line. Lizzie Wellborn's currently sitting in 2nd place. Harriet Brown trying to make a move up now on Carly Nerthen on the right-hand side there, just sitting in front of Naomi Scott and Jordan Mercer.
So Miller in 1, Wellborn 2, Nerthen 3, Brown 4, Scott, Mercer, Hannah Scully, Danielle McKenzie, and then the rest of the field is a long, long way back, and Georgia Miller has a little push and shove there. Lizzie Wellborn gets the nose under her arm, just makes things difficult for Georgia Miller going around, and that's smart racing by Wellborn, and Miller, she just got bullied around the cans there.
Well, Wellborn's done a great job to get herself the inside run around this second turning can before the girls start to head to home, and we see Wellborn up on the knees already. The rating's up. She knows this is her opportunity to go to the front.
All the way in the background, we just lost them in the shot there, but Emma Dick and Brielle Cooper are working together, trying to get back into this one, but they wouldn't even be close to turning that first can yet, so that's the gap back. You can see them now in the background. They've just gone around the first turning can, and there's maybe 12 or 13 board lengths between second last and Ella Heiniger, who's the last one on the back of the pack. The girls start to put the power down, go for home. Lizzie Wellborn, you can tell why she's one of the best in the business. No, she is the best in the business at running a board on the way home. She's got 2 or 3 board lengths already on the rest of the field. Carly Nerthen finds a little runner on that left-hand side. Georgia Miller's missed one, but out the back there's a wave on, and this is going to turn things on its head. It looks like Jordan Mercer's down it on the right-hand side. Harriet Brown, Georgia Miller, Carly Nerthen, and Lizzie Wellborn may get picked up by this, but We know how tricky Coolum can be. It'll fill up. The girls on the right-hand side, they're going to stay on it. And Lizzie Wellborn, they'll go straight past her. So just like that, wrong place, wrong time, too far to the left-hand side there as we look at it on the screen. And the 4 leaders have gone straight past Lizzie Wellborn.
Well, how brutal Coolum can be, Josh. Our leader, Lizzie Wellborn, now back in 5th place, but it's allowed her to come back through. And Lizzie, very smart, got herself out of the hole, headed south, and ensured she was on the wave behind.
Yeah, skills from these girls. A race in 5, and then on the next wave, there's 12 girls on the next wave, so that is going to be very tight. And if you think those 12 girls are together, the difference between being first in that group and last in that group is 24 seconds going into the next race. So you've got to be aware, every place counts in this opening race. Harriet Brown leads through in 1. Lizzie Wellborn in 2. Jordan Mercer looks strong in transition there. Georgia Miller, Carly Nerthen, that's 1 through 5. And here comes the charge of the Light Brigade. Wow, Nicola Owen has got herself back into that. She's got the yellow and blue cap there. She's run around in about 9th overall after being dead last off the start. Rogers, Mackenzie, Maddie Dunn, Nicola Owen, Hannah Scully, Gemma Smith, Courtney Hancock, Naomi Scott, Electra Outram, Kirsty Higginson, Tian Raymond. There's Jade Hardstaff, Ella Heiniger, and Emma Dick and Brielle Cooper are still not even on the sand.
Well, they're a long way back, Josh, and a lot of work to do from Dick and Cooper if they're going to get themselves back up into this one. Expect Gemma Smith to start to make a move now up through the field.
Well, that is the opening leg of race 1. We'll be back with plenty more action from Coolum and the Ocean Six.
It's amazing the subtle games that you are playing, and you don't even know I exist, but you have got me on your hit list, and you're conspiring, girl, you are sexual and bad, and now you got this on your conscience. Now I'm unresponsive. Oh, but call your mother, tell her you love her. This might be it for you. Run through the fire, I'd walk the wire. I would sell everything I own. I'd swim the ocean, dance with the devil. I'd sell my soul to take you home. Can feel the floor underneath our feet. Fire shots through my chest as you watch me bleed. Every kick, drum, hit is a symphony. Every brush of your curves is the air I breathe. You speak, I am listening. Sweat rolls, girl, you're glistening. Slow-mo, pull me into the light, the light. There are people watching us, wishing they were obvious, instead of giving in to the fright, the fright. Run through the fire, I walk the wire. I would sell everything I own. I'd swim the ocean, dance with the devil. I'd sell my soul to take you home. One heart to survive when one just breaks. One slow suicide while one just takes and takes. One choice for the good of you, but not the one you make. But one worth dying for if you saw her shake, shake, shake. We can feel the flow underneath our feet. I am listening. We can feel the flow underneath our feet. You are glistening. We can feel the flow underneath our feet. I am listening. We can Run through the fire, out the wire. I would sell everything I own. I'd swim the ocean, dance with the devil. I'd sell my soul to take you home. Run through the fire, out the wire. I would sell everything I own. I'd swim the ocean, dance with the devil. I'd sell my soul to take you home.
Welcome back, round 2, Coolum Beach of the Ocean 6 Series and the Nutrigrain Iron Woman Series as well. Jordan Mercer, Lizzie Wellborn, they've hit the lead, race 1 of the pursuit format. Of course, board ski, swim, and after race 1, we'll reset the line, and wherever you finish, you will get a 2-second gap on the person behind you, and so on down the line. We can just see at the bottom of the screen, Brielle Cooper getting her way back into this race after being dead last off the start, and if she can work her way back into the top half of the field, it would be a great result for her, and who knows, but Jordan Mercer putting the power down, going to the front right now. But Lizzie Wellborn's looked the strongest so far, had a little bit of bad luck and has been chased the entire way by Harriet Brown, Georgia Miller and Carly Nerthen in the background there. That's our top 5. And then there's a gap back to about 12 girls. It looks like Danielle McKenzie has had the strongest of the ski starts there in that second group.
Well, she has, Danielle McKenzie, and we would expect her, Josh, to be a big mover through this field. Also, she was our round 1 ski race winner at Queenscliff, and she'll be looking to try and peg back this lead group and ensure that she gets off to the best possible start in race 2.
Gemma Smith there as well, formerly part of the Australian Junior kayaking setup as well, so she's very strong on the ski, and you can see McKenzie in 6th place on her own there. Just behind her, it's Courtney Hancock and Lana Rogers. Lana Rogers looking for a big result after, well, being in the bottom half of the field in round 1. The rest of the girls you could throw a blanket over there as they make their way out. Once again, Wellborn, in terms of course management, she has been a class above, hasn't she, Jack? She snuck around on the inside of Georgia Miller in the opening board leg. She's done it again to Jordan Mercer here in the ski.
Well, she's made a big move on the inside, Wellborn, and Danielle McKenzie is coming up very quick, Josh. She's negotiating that first turning can now and is taking big room off our lead pack.
Yeah, really starting to get herself back into the front of this race, but the big test for her will be the swim. She's a strong swimmer, but it's definitely the weakest of her 3 legs, unlike Harriet Brown, who excels once they get into the water. So Wellborn leads, Mercer in 2, side by side as they go round. It is Georgia Miller and Harriet Brown. Carly Nerthen just sitting on the tail there of our leaders, Danielle McKenzie. And a little bit further back, Kirsty Higginson, another strong ski paddler, former runner-up in the Nutrigrain Iron Woman Series. Oh, a wave out the back for Danielle McKenzie. That's going to bring it up and make it a race in 6 because she will push this one through. But it looks like Wellborn might even get a run of her own. Jordan Mercer's pushing down one. You can see the focus on her eyes there looking towards the beach as she comes up alongside Lizzie Wellborn. We've got 2 on the first wave, 4 on the next, but maybe Carly Nerthen, she might not get down this one. And Danielle McKenzie's gone from 6th into 3rd just like that.
Well, Harriet Brown and Georgia Miller are looking to pick up this wave and try and join McKenzie, but it's been all Wellborn and Mercer as Wellborn pulls over the front of a little bump, Josh, to go back in front.
I think Lizzie Wellborn's gone to another level this season. She was one of the leaders early on in round 1 and just faded in the last race. She's again led early on in this opening round of round 2, so she's really taken a step up at the North Bondi Club, and it looks like being a big summer for her. Jordan Mercer alongside her. They make their way into the beach, but the big test for these two will definitely be the swim leg. They've got some high quality swimmers chasing them. The likes of Georgia Miller, former Australian Junior Swim Team member, Harriet Brown, she's one of the best swimmers in the world, and Carly Nerthen, who is as tough as nails, 3rd leg of an Iron Woman. But it's Wellborn leads round, Mercer in 2. Let's see what kind of work they've done. Danielle McKenzie in 3, Harriet Brown in 4, Carly Nerthen in 5, and Georgia Miller, the best of the swimmers, in 6. The race is on here. Lana Rogers 7. Courtney Hancock, Kirsty Higginson, Gemma Smith are all there in 8, 9 and 10 as well, making their way up. Tian Raymond's had a massive ski paddle there. She's nice and strong. She's a good ski paddler. She's worked her way through the field nicely. Oh, there's skis going left, right and centre. Lizzie Wellborn's forced to dive under a stray ski there. I think that looks like Brielle Cooper's ski, so tough day at the office for Brielle Cooper there. As we look at the split screen, Hannah Scully goes through. Maddie Dunn goes through just behind her as well. Nicola Owen didn't have the ski leg she wants. Naomi Scott, Brielle Cooper, Ella Heininger, Jade Hardstuff, and still no sign of Emma Dick. She is a long, long way down and making her way in on the ski. And well, the defending champ Brielle Cooper is not having the day she wants at the office. Normally in these tricky conditions, that's where she excels. Today, she seems to be making small mistakes that are having big consequences.
And making no mistakes out in front, Josh, is Lizzie Wellborn, and that's why she's our current leader. She's gone to the front in the swim, probably one of her weaker legs previously, as Emma Dick comes round, Josh, in our 20th place, so got plenty of work to do to drag herself back through this field.
20th place equals 38 seconds behind the leader in the next race, so it doesn't matter how far behind Emma Dick gets, she's going to get dragged back to that 38 seconds, but she wants to maybe get herself close enough where she can jag a wave, get past a couple, possibly reduce that gap down ever so slightly. But Wellborn still leads. Mercer probably a little bit better line to the can, and then Harriet Brown and Georgia Miller chasing very, very hard. Danielle McKenzie's already dropped from 3rd to 5th, and Carly Nerthen is just hanging on. In the background, Lana Rogers is storming out to sea. You can see her, she's in 7th place, trying to get back on this lead group, but she's already swum away from the rest of the field.
Well, my expectation was that Georgia Miller and Harriet Brown would catch our leaders, but at the moment there's still plenty of gap between them and Lizzie Wellborn, along with Jordan Mercer.
You can see Lizzie Wellborn's swim improving every year. Jordan Mercer had a big jump about 2 seasons ago, the same season she won the Nutrigrain Iron Woman Series title, but then in the last year maybe just let it go a little bit, hasn't swum to the same capacity we've seen, and it's just showing up here as Miller and Harriet Brown start to bring her back in. Wellborn's maybe hanging on for a little bit longer, but just might have to swim a little bit further back to that can.
Well, I think Wellborn's continuing to go away from Mercer here, Josh. She has certainly extended that gap, which was around 1 body length, is now out to about 2 or 3. So Wellborn going on with it. It doesn't look like the chase pack in Miller and Brown are taking a huge amount of room off Wellborn, which is very impressive.
And in the 3rd leg, it's definitely where your biggest weaknesses get exposed the most, don't they? If you're a not great ski paddler or a weak board paddler, or in some cases you really struggle on the swim, when you put that leg 3rd, it just compounds and makes it worse and worse and worse, because it's so hard to swim well tied. These girls swim really well opening leg. They struggle a little bit when it's 3rd.
Well, Josh, swimming under fatigue, it's the hardest thing to do in our sport, and Lizzie Wellborn is currently doing it as well as anyone.
She's on fire at the moment. That gap has really opened up back to Jordan Mercer. Harriet Brown in 3rd, Georgia Miller in 4th, Danielle McKenzie holding on, and maybe Carly Nerthen just starting to drop away from that top pack. Lana Rogers swimming back into the mix at the moment. Wellborn has turned for home, and she is looking for a win in race 1 of the pursuit format. Catch me if you can is what they've nicknamed it, because if you win race 1, you go off first with an advantage. Here come the waves. I don't know if Wellborn's going to get down. It might stand up. Oh, the Coolum back bank. It offers something up and then takes it back, and that can be heartbreaking when you're trying to get this race win. The girls out the back are surrounding that can. Wellborn just gets a little push out of it again, and this has been a solid performance from Lizzie Wellborn. If she can back this up with another big one in race 2, she was looking strong for that round 2 Nutrigrain Iron Woman Series race victory here. Heads up, looking back towards the beach, but there's just nothing on offer at the moment. This Coolum break can be heartbreaking.
Well, it certainly can. We saw Lizzie Wellborn was unfortunate in the board to get picked up, and a little wave coming through now on the southern side might be enough, but it looks like our chasers, Josh, are coming down one out the back.
3 down it. It's Georgia Miller on the left, Jordan Mercer in the center, Harriet Brown in the middle there, and they all go past Lizzie Wellborn, and just like that, she's gone from 1st to 4th, and Jordan Mercer surf skills have been the difference there. Georgia Miller gets down one, so does Jordan Mercer, so back-to-back waves from these girls. No waves for Lizzie Wellborn. Harriet Brown's just trying to sneak down one at the moment as well, but have a look at the surf skills from Jordan Mercer. Unbelievable. Holds that one all the way to the beach. She's a long, long way down, but you're quicker running than you are swimming, so she's just got to get to the sand, and Jordan Mercer will win race 1 of the pursuit. She will get this start. She'll go off scratch in race 2, and all the girls will be chasing her. Put that win down to surf skills from Jordan Mercer.
Well, Jordan Magic Mercer, Josh, and a little bit of magic there in the wave zone certainly pulled Jordan Mercer back through the field to give her the win in race 1.
Jordan Mercer first across the line will go off scratch, and this is where it gets interesting. Lizzie Wellborn 2 seconds, Miller 4 seconds, Harriet Brown 6 seconds. That will be the gap when they go through. Courtney Hancock jumps up, Danielle McKenzie, Lana Rogers, they've all swum through the field, so what about this? We're at 6 seconds at the moment. Doesn't matter how far back they are, the gaps are the same, and you can see how important it is for these girls as they charge up and around. Courtney Hancock comes up and into the chute. She will be off 8 seconds. Danielle McKenzie, 10 seconds. Lana Rogers, 12 seconds. And you can see how quickly that gap really starts to grow. We're already at 12 seconds between our leader and Lana Rogers. And she has worked so hard in that last leg. You can see her there keeled over, up and around Carly Nerthen. So she'll be off 14 seconds after going from the top 4 going into that swim leg. 14 seconds there, 16 seconds for Tian Raymond as she comes up and around. And Jack, this is where the gap, well, it almost becomes too much. If you're 20, 25 seconds behind the leader, you can almost kiss a race win goodbye.
Well, it can, Josh. It's certainly going to be a big gap, and obviously the girls up the front end that won race 1 are in form.
18 seconds for Higginson as she comes up. Gemma Smith looks like being 20 seconds behind, so Higginson from Surfers Paradise comes up and around at 18 seconds. 20 for Gemma Smith, 22 for Naomi Scott, 24 for Electra Outram. Brielle Cooper, I saw her in the background. At the moment, we're at 24, 26 seconds. So almost half a minute down. Maddie Dunn will be at 28. So for this girl to go back to back, she's going to have to overcome a 28-second deficit. And well, these girls, they couldn't stick with them when they were all going off scratch in race 1. What are the odds you're going to be 28 seconds better? Here we go. Hannah Scully dips there. I think she gets 30. Ella Heiniger, 32. We still wait for Emma Dick and a couple more of the girls to come up and cross the line, but there is Nicola Owen up and around, and Emma Dick, that is all she wrote. What about that? Oh, Jade Hardstaff as well, so she will be the last one across the line. She will go off the 38-second mark in race 2. That's race 1, run and done. We've got our order for race 2, and now it is the first across the line in race 2. Jordan Mercer will go off scratch, and the rest will be the hunting pack. Let's take a look at the results from race number 1 there. Jordan Mercer on top, first across the line. The rest of the field will be forced to chase. Jade Hardstaff will go last, and that's race 2 coming up in just a few moments' time.
Right, guys, here we are in between race 1 and race 2. Race 1 winner, Jordy Mercer. How are you feeling?
Oh, I'm feeling pretty good, Ty. I think that's as good as it could have gone. I've set myself up with the best advantage I can, and Pursuit, it's a new format for us, so I'm ready to rip in, but I've done all I can. Now it's just a matter of getting out there and putting on a show, I think.
Put on a great show. I'll give you a hot tip. Don't look behind. Just go for it, and best of luck.
Heads down, let's do this.
Well, Geordie will get her opportunity. It's coming up, race 2 of the Pursuit format.
It's no use living if you're already dead. It's not worth saying if it's already said. Even if it all goes over your head, believe it if you want to. So keep your eyes on the road and your head in the stars. Follow it down the rabbit hole just a little while longer. You can change anything if you want to. Sing it like ooh, if you want to. Sing it like ooh, if you want to.
The poison goes through my head, trying to strike me down till I'm dead. Am I better off if I stop
Welcome back to round 2 of the Ocean 6 series from beautiful Coolum Beach on the Sunshine Coast. And since the Ocean 6 series started, we have come back to the Sunshine Coast every year because it is one of our favourite locations to race and our favourite locations to visit. Jack, you and I call the Sunshine Coast home, and it is a beautiful part of the world.
Well, otherwise known as God's country, Josh, it is a beautiful part of the world, and I wouldn't want to live anywhere else.
Beautiful beaches, beautiful places, and beautiful faces all up and down the Sunshine Coast, and they've welcomed the Ocean 6 series back year after year, and it is the athletes' favourite location to come as we look south towards Maroochydore, Mooloolaba, Caloundra, and eventually Stradbroke Island down there. It is a very, very beautiful part of the world. Let's take a look at the start list for race number 2. Jordan Mercer will go off scratch. Lizzie Wellborn, 2 seconds. Miller, 4 seconds. And so on down the line. That time really starts to add up quickly, doesn't it, Jack, once you get outside the top 3 or 4?
Well, Josh, 2-second intervals do add up very quick, and with the form of Lizzie Wellborn and Jordan Mercer of race 1, who would want to go into race 2 giving them a head start?
Yeah, the head start will be critical. Dunn at 28 seconds, Hannah Scully at half a minute, Heiniger, Owen, Dick and Hardstaff all the way down to 38 seconds for the Currumbin Beach rookie. The girls are on the line. We get the thumbs up. Jordan Mercer, the first to go off the gun. She is set away. Race 2, it's first across the line. The pursuit format and the Nutrigrain Iron Woman Series round 2. Miller is gone. Harriet Brown is gone. That's your 6 seconds. 8 seconds for Hancock there. Away goes Danielle McKenzie. Lana Rogers is next. Carly Nervin. Tian Raymond sets herself. Watch for Kirsty Higgis and Gemma Smith will get into this one. Naomi Scott will look to make up ground very, very quickly. Electra Outram off and away. The defending champ, Brielle Cooper. Maddie Dunn charges up and around. Hannah Scully is in next. The rookie, Ella Heiniger. Nicola Owen, the youngest in the field from the Redhead Club. Emma Dick and Jade Hardstaff. And that 38 seconds went very, very quick.
Well, it did, Josh. And our leaders are just making their way through the first break there. Jordan Mercer is still in the lead currently. There's a Northcliffe cap I saw there, Josh, starting to move through. Lizzie Wellborn will be in the mix as well. But look for our swimmers to start to move through the field. The likes of Maddie Dunn, who was well down the back, as was Naomi Scott, will be looking to make a big move.
Oh, just like that. Georgia Miller's gone from 3rd off the line into 2nd place and almost in the lead. That's her on the top side of your screen there. Blue top, white cap with the maroon star of Northcliffe. She made the move in the off-season. She won the Coolangatta Gold. She almost won round 1, and she's moving into the lead of round 2 at the moment. You could say that move was a masterstroke to train under the likes of Naomi Flood, but Georgia Miller has gone to another level and she's gone to the lead.
Well, this is the race, Josh. You need to perform to win the round, and Georgia Miller knows that. She's gone up. She's gone past Jordan Mercer now, and he's moving out to that first can at a rate of knots.
One girl who's flown under the radar for the entire race so far today is Courtney Hancock. She's on the back of that lead group, just about to go over the top of Lizzie Wellborn, move her way into 4th place as they dive deep down underneath a wave that came through. And Courtney Hancock's had a great start to the summer so far, but she just hasn't poked her head out at the front of any of these races. She's just been there or thereabouts every round so far, and at the moment she's moved from about 6th place off the gun into 3rd place on the line, and it's Northcliffe 1 with Georgia Miller, Northcliffe 2 with Harriet Brown, and it's about to be Northcliffe 3 with Courtney Hancock.
Well, Courtney Hancock moving up very quickly, Josh, now level pegging with Jordan Mercer and coming through and past. So Jordan Mercer drops back to 4. Lizzie Wellborn now in 5. So Jordan Mercer, who went off scratch, was our early leader, is now back in 5th place.
Incredibly, that 12-second lead she had over a couple of these girls has all but disappeared, and they've gone the wrong way. Georgia Miller's swum to the wrong can. She's immediately realised she's had to cut back across, and that is a big mistake for Georgia Miller. Let's go down to the beach and hear from Ty.
Right, here we are, guys. It's race 2, series leader, or leading here at the moment. Going off first in the pursuit is Jordy Mercer. Dad Duzza, how are you feeling?
I'm a little bit nervous at the moment. The girls have made a bit of an error. They're going out. They've gone to the wrong can, but they've corrected now, so they're on their way back to the right one. I'll have to have a spin around and see what the results are from the turn of that one.
Mate, very, very quickly, what advice was given to Geordie during that break?
Oh, look, she's just got to stick to a game plan, and she knows she's got to be up there on that front. She's got her best legs to come, so she can get up there in the swim. Hopefully, she can sort of stay up in that top front group.
Mate, best of luck. Go and get back into it. Good luck, Noosa.
Thank you.
We're back to racing now, and Georgia Miller continues to push out in front. Miller in 1, Harriet Brown in 2, Courtney Hancock in 3. Naomi Flood will be a very happy coach on the beach. Lizzie Wellborn has worked her way into 4th place, and maybe Lana Rogers has swum herself up past her Noosa teammate in Jordan Mercer and into 5th on the water. She cuts inside Lizzie Wellborn and up to 4th, so big move for last year's 4th place finisher overall.
Well, Josh, she is also the current Australian Ironwoman champion and looking to continue that great form from the end of last season into this one.
What's been unbelievable is the change up already from the way they started. This opening swim leg, they only had a short gap between race 1 and race 2. It has really turned it on its head. There's a little wave there. It looks like this is going to shake things up. Georgia Miller has picked it up. She puts the head down, starts to get the kick going there, and she's stiff like a board, pushing across that big gutter. It'll just fill up there, but a big gap for Georgia Miller, and she will go a long way in front in this opening leg. But Jack, what I was saying is the change up already in the order of what we had in race 1, and I think it's because it's swim leg first. If it's board or ski, they'd probably get around a little bit easier, but these girls are tired, they're struggling, and the order's starting to change.
Well, Hancock and Brown looking for a wave now to catch Georgia Miller, but it's all Georgia Miller out in front and all alone. It looks as though she might pick up another little wave here, Josh, to take her through to the beach, and that's Georgia Miller hitting the beach in 1.
Back-to-back waves for Georgia Miller, and that is a big gap she'll have. Doesn't hold it the whole way through, and it doesn't seem like much, but those 5 or 10 metres can make a massive difference at the end of the day, and it could be the difference between winning and losing for Georgia Miller. Looks like Harriet Brown is down one as well, so just like that, Brown responds and answers back. Courtney Hancock just struggling out the back, tries to get down this one as well. Can't manage to get down it. Harriet Brown still surfing, and you can see the difference maybe 5 metres to the left or right makes. Swim, board, ski is the order. Georgia Miller throws the goggles and leads after the opening leg. She's caught her leader. She is in the lead of race number 2 and heading out on the second leg.
Well, a huge swim, Josh, from Georgia Miller there has set this race up. She was 4 seconds down off the start, and now she currently has probably a 20-second lead going into this board leg.
Well, that lead's been closed ever so slightly. Brown around in second place, so the teammates, they train together, they race together, and they're going head-to-head here at Coolum. Miller onto the board. She led early on the board, but this is where it'll get interesting. Mercer and Lana Rogers side by side, the 2 Noosa teammates. Lizzie Wellborn, Courtney Hancock up and around. So that is our top 6, and incredibly, that's the top 6 how they left off the beach, but in a completely different order.
Well, Courtney Hancock must have been a little bit unlucky there, Josh, in the wave zone. She came through. She was sitting in 3rd place as Brielle Cooper and Carly Nerthen come round with plenty of work to do, Josh, but a big move from Brielle Cooper to come back through that pack.
Brielle Cooper was 28 seconds down going in, and she is not that at the moment. Outram, Raymond, Scott, Dunn, they charged their way through. So the big mover in that opening leg was definitely Brielle Cooper. She's looking to get her series back on track and maybe keep back-to-back title hopes alive. Emma Dick comes around as well, and there's only a couple behind her. So the girls are all in on the board at the moment. Lizzie Wellborn chasing hard, and look for her to make a big move. Carly Nerthen forced to roll in waist-depth water, so that's a mistake already, and the girls are looking very tired. This was the 5th leg they've done so far in the race, and Higginson making a mistake there, tripping over. Emma Dick as well struggling in there, so the girls are starting to hurt in race 2 of the pursuit format.
Well, still Georgia Miller leading the way as the fatigue starts to set in, Josh. They are in their 2nd race and about to head around the Cairns for the 5th time.
Yeah, 28 minutes of racing so far today for these girls, and they've still got another, roughly 10 minutes to go to get through this board and ski legs to finish. Lizzie Wellborn pops up and over, and you can see the gaps back, and what a shot there. We can see from all the way at the back of the field all the way to the front, and what these girls are trying to do. Lizzie Wellborn stuck in 3rd place and trying to catch our 2 leaders. Georgia Miller, she's definitely the most in-form Iron woman in the world right now. Harriet Brown, she's the defending world champion. She's one of the best in the business as well. So a real head-to-head match race here for the 2 training partners at the Northcliffe Club. One from Sydney in Georgia Miller, one from Victoria in Harriet Brown, and they're both living on the Gold Coast at the moment, going stroke for stroke, and that gap has really opened up to Lizzie Wellborn, and that's the difference a couple of waves can make. I don't know if Jordan Mercer and Courtney Hancock, Lana Rogers are hanging on to Wellborn, but they know she is going to be an absolute speedboat out to sea if they can hang on.
Well, at this stage, Josh, it looks as though our winner's going to come from one of these two. Remembering that in round one, Georgia Miller finished in second place, Harriet Brown in third behind clubmate Maddie Dunn. Now, one of these two could take their first win for 2018.
And that's the big question too. Where is Maddie Dunn? She's currently leading the series, and she is, well, started just outside the top 10, and I think she's still roughly thereabouts. And if these two finish the way they are and Dunn's down in 10th or 12th or 13th place, she will hand over that series lead. She definitely needs to be on the podium. The waves are on here. Harriet Brown pushes down one. Georgia Miller tries as well. They'll get a run out of it. I think Brown will get the best of it. If Miller can't get over the top, she puts the power down, gets down, it sits back, relaxes and has a rest. And well, what about this? They get a ride towards the beach, and this race isn't over, but these two just put a stranglehold on the top two places, and this last ski leg is going to turn into a match race.
Well, Josh, that wave may have opened it up enough. I saw Lizzie Wellborn sitting in third. I thought she was the only person that can pull them back after her race one craft efforts, but it looks as though that gap is far too big.
Well, here we go. Wellborn and Mercer get their opportunity to come down a wave. The gap will close up. Oh, side by side. Wellborn just gives her the little get out of the way, Geordie, I'm coming through, and they gave each other just enough room to make sure that they both managed to get down there. Harriet Brown's the first up, Georgia Miller's up as well. They both get the instructions from the handlers and head into transition for the final time side by side, and we might start the clock here and see just how far behind the rest of the field are, because Jordan Mercer started in front of both these girls, and now she's a long way down. Their skis are side by side there, so no advantage on the line for either of these girls. And Wellborn, you can see the eyes just go across. She's just seen how far behind they are, and as they're running up the beach, our two leaders are running back down.
Wellborn starting to work her way into this transition, as is Jordan Mercer. These two know they've got plenty of work to do at this stage if they're going to pull their way back into it, Josh, and it's going to be over 30 seconds. The gap is over 30 seconds to our two leaders.
Barring a mistake, the winner comes from these two. I'm calling it this early. Unless these two get absolutely smashed, the winner will come from one of these two women. Harriet Brown takes a little bit of an advantage heading out. She just gets lapped by that wave there. Courtney Hancock makes her way through as well, and it looks like Georgia Miller starting to paddle back on to Harriet Brown. Brielle Cooper comes through, but where is Maddie Dunn, this current series leader, the round one winner, Lana Rogers, through transition? And these girls, I don't think they're thinking about the race victory. I think they're thinking about getting as many points as possible, and there is your series leader there, Maddie Dunn, working her way through, and I just think she's going to hand over the series lead to one of our two leaders after this round.
Well, we did talk earlier about Georgia Miller and Harriet Brown finishing 2 and 3 respectively, and they're out in round one, and they're our two leaders now in round two, Josh. It looks as though either of those two will be taking that series lead.
Tian Raymond works her way through. Emma Dick has done a great job of getting back into this race, past Danielle McKenzie, past Naomi Scott, who looks like she's hurting into that final leg there. And Emma Dick, you take out that opening board leg, and she's been one of the best iron women in this race, but got absolutely obliterated by the Coolum back bank on the way out in the opening leg, and was in last place to start. So she's done a great job to get back into the top 15 here. And side by side, our two leaders, here comes Hannah Scully through transition, and that is the gap that's opened up. It's a long way back to Scully. We still haven't seen a couple of the other girls make their way through here. So Harriet Brown goes back to the front and just looks like she might have a little bit more on offer. Nicola Owen works her way through there. So does Ella Heiniger and Jade Hardstuff. That is all 20 girls onto the final leg, and a couple just popping up and over waves there. Lana Rogers getting smashed on the left-hand side. Jordan Mercer out into green water and breathing very deeply there, and maybe just struggling a little bit, and definitely struggling to keep up with our two leaders. Barring something huge, this is all over Red Rover, and our winner will come from one of these two.
Well, you would assume that's going to be the case, Josh. Harriet Brown on the outside, Georgia Miller on the inside. Miller with the better run, Brown with the higher rating. She seems to be the one that's had that ski moving a little bit quicker on the way out, and we see a lift there into the final turning can from Harriet Brown to set this one up. She'll she'll be looking now to turn, run with the ocean, lift the rating, and pick up a wave back to the beach.
Well, I think that was the moment there. I think that's the moment Harriet Brown decided all in, because she's gone up, taking the rating up, gone a ski length in front, found a little runner as well. Georgia Miller's just not responding like she needs to right now. Harriet Brown's has asked her the question, and Georgia Miller's not responding. That's the race for third place. Lizzie Wellborn's in third, Jordan Mercer in fourth at the moment, trying to get on the podium and really set up their series. But here we go. Harriet Brown back to the lead, and she has found herself a wave. Jack Hansen, if she can keep it straight, she will take the race victory here, but that wave's just starting to die out.
Well, Brown's starting to angle up the beach, Josh. She's trying to set this one up for the final transition, the final run leg here. Harriet Brown has put herself right on that finish chute to ensure that that little wave takes her through to the beach.
Big deep breaths, plenty of concentration from Brown. It looks like she's done the job and made a big move at the final turning can. Georgia Miller's trying to come back into it, but I think it's too little, too late. Harriet Brown will get the little wave. Georgia Miller can't believe it. I think she was caught by surprise just a little bit by her training partner. Even though she's putting the power down, she's going to push her the entire way. Harriet Brown got her first race victory in Victoria last summer. She's going to get her second race victory at Coolum this summer. Harriet Brown will be your round 2 Nutrigrain Iron Women's Series champion, and she'll take the overall lead as well. Harriet Brown wins round 2 at Coolum. A big performance from Georgia Miller as well to finish in second. She's come oh so close in both those rounds, and she continues to keep Harriet Brown honest on the overall leaderboard. She will be just 2 points behind after getting back-to-back second place finishes there, and Brown's win automatically pushes her to the top of the point score. Here we go, the race is on. Lizzie Wellborn's definitely got Jordan Mercer there. Oh, Mercer looks like she's just gone down. Maybe rolled the ankle there or a foot injury, I just don't know. Lizzie Wellborn will get the bronze. A big day for her, and have a look at Jordan Mercer. She knows she's got to cross the line. She's walking up and around. Jordan Mercer is unstoppable. The girls won't stop coming. Here comes Courtney Hancock. Jordan Mercer just manages to get there. That is unstoppable stuff from Jordan Mercer. Courtney Hancock and Brielle Cooper. Brielle Cooper, another solid result from 2 to keep her title hopes alive there, but that was gutsy stuff from Mercer.
Yeah, it certainly was, Josh. Gets herself across the line. Not ideal from Jordan Mercer, exiting the water for that final sprint leg and went down in a pothole, so Mercer looks like she's in all sorts of pain there, sitting on the finish line, and great for the other girls to get around to her and make sure she's okay.
Yeah, Georgia Miller, Courtney Hancock there, Harriet Brown as well, and tough for those girls. Maddie Dunn, our series leader, will relinquish the title, but a solid result for her inside the top 10. No problems at all. We see Lizzie Wellborn tending, and there's Darren Mercer in to double check that everything's all right with Jordan. Gemma Smith crosses the line. Carly Nerthen faded late. Emma Dick, she is the under the radar MVP today, because she came from a long way back to finish inside the top 10 there. Danielle McKenzie, Lana Rogers again, not the result she would have been looking for. Tian Raymond comes up and around. Kirsty Higginson as well. Electra Outram happy with her result there as her teammate sits down in agony on the sand, and that is the agony and the ecstasy of surf sports racing. Ella Heiniger, her first ever Nutrigrain Iron Women's Series race. Oh, goes down in a pothole there, so very tough for these girls, and not the finish she would have wanted, but smiles all round for the first time. Hannah Scully has been strong to start the summer. The Noosa girls, hugs all round across the line. Jack, and Harriet Brown got the win. Georgia Miller was impressive. Lizzie Wellborn is one of the best in the business, and there's lots of questions about injuries for the next round for these girls. There is more questions than answers after round 2.
Well, there certainly is, Josh, and the picture of the overall series is now no clearer.
That is 100% correct. Jack Hansen, Brown on top in race 2. Miller and Wellborn, that's your podium. Mercer, Hancock and Cooper. Down the page, Nerthen Outram, McKenzie, Lana Rogers once again outside the top 10. Tian Raymond, Higginson, Heiniger, Scott, Hardstaff and Owen.
Harriet Brown, welcome back to the winner's circle.
Thank you very much, Ty.
What an outstanding race. Obviously a very tough format, 2 races, 5-minute rest in between. The pursuit, you're on the chase as well, but that second race, you really dug in tough.
Yeah, I did. It's a really tricky format. There's a little bit of tactics come out to play. I think that I held back a little bit in that first race. I wanted to kind of get up there at the start, but you don't want to spend it all to then get caught in the second race. So it kind of went to plan today.
Went to great plan. Obviously the swim leg in that second race, great. The board leg with George himself breaking away, but that ski leg, two of yous heading out together. What was going through your mind?
I was actually... I was feeling really good in the water legs. The run has been hurting me so much. I haven't really ran much since Queensy, bit of an injury, but it's kind of like I guess there's a positive from it because I've been working really hard in the water legs. So as soon as I got onto that ski, I was hurting for the first 40 strokes and then I felt good and then I was like, all right, I can't sprint finish here. I got to give it everything I've got and got a little runner and just kind of held it. So it was good.
It was good. It was an unstoppable performance there. And the finish, you could see the passion crossing the line and what it means to win. It's your second ever win in the Kellogg's Nutrigrain Series. That must be a great feeling.
Oh, it's an awesome feeling. I mean, every time we turn up, we put our foot on the line and we want to win. We want to be the best one here. And often, most often than not, we don't. And someone else does and everyone kind of gets their time, but you got to push for it. You got to work for it and it hurts so much.
Well, Harriet Brown gets the double victory today. She moves into first place on the overall Nutrigrain Iron Women's Series point score, just ahead of Georgia Miller. They've cleared out from Maddie Dunn in third, who in turn has cleared out from Lizzie Wellborn in fourth after only 2 rounds. Well, a couple of these girls are a long way down. Of course, the best 5 from 6 rounds will be counted down to Scully, Doyle, Heiniger and Maddie Spencer, who was not in.